Today on the channel, say his name, and he appears with the Ringside Collectibles unsanctioned TNA exclusive, regular and variant edition, Joe Hendry.
The spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another unsanctioned Ringside Collectibles exclusive unboxing and review. And today on the channel, we got a surprise with a double dose of Joe Hendry. But for all your Joe Hendry needs, there's only one place to go, Ringside Collectibles. Use discount code Kyle, save yourself 10%. Got to get a deal out there, and say his name and he appears. Very cool for the Ringside team over there. A big W, as I said before, as working in silence and just dropping this guy in stock shipping immediately. That's a chef's kiss, if you ask me. It almost feels like the old days when you were a kid, or at least when I was a kid, and I would hit Toys R Us and I would see a brand new wrestling line or a Marvel Legends line, or I guess Marvel Toy Biz back then. You would see them on the shelf. You're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know this existed. I didn't know this was coming out. And here in 2025, late 2025, we got that here with Joe Hendry and Ringside Collectibles. So very fun, very nostalgic, a lot of cool memories of being surprised by action figures. And we got that right here today. And kudos to Ringside, because Joe Hendry's been a big name for the last year or so, and you could honestly say his stock has never been higher. So for Ringside to come out with this in their unsanctioned line, and previously it was unsanctioned classic superstars, now we got unsanctioned TNA. More on that in a second, but I don't think anybody would have had this on their bingo card for Ringside to give a TNA talent, maybe an NXT WWE talent now. But at the time, TNA talent, we were thinking more of legends. It's been unsanctioned classic superstars, playing a lot of hits with me with that name. We saw Demolition, we saw the Legion of Doom, unboxed them on the channel, check it out. But obviously, Legion of Doom came out, I think it was February 2025, and then November 2025, we got Demolition. I think a lot of us said, well, when's the next one gonna come? Maybe mid next year, and bam, here a couple of weeks later, a double dose of Joe Hendry. So there's a lot of fun here, and we're cooking with fire with Ringside now, as they've put out many figures now. 6 by my math. 1, 2, 3, 6 by my math. Hopefully that means we got a lot more coming next year. Now, I don't know anything, but I would love it if there was a figure every single month from Ringside. Be it a 2-pack, single pack, 1 figure a month. I think that would be something really fun. It would almost remind me of the G.I. Joe subscription club once upon a time. But a lot of fun and a lot of good with this, and a nice surprise as we end 2025 here from Ringside. These are currently back ordered, but they should be more in stock any day now. It sounds like it says mid to late December. We're in that time frame right now. But of course, we're going to do this review like we do all the other reviews on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. And this is a big win, as I did say, as currently he's on NXT. I guess he is officially done with TNA, but Ringside has opened this up to future TNA figures. So could we get the System? Could we get Matt Cardona? Could we get Bear Bronson? I guess anything's possible in this day and age with TNA. And you have to think the TNA company is pretty excited about this, because let's talk about Powertown. Todd McFarlane, you want to talk about him? Todd does not want to talk about him. I don't either. But they're supposed to have the TNA license. Now, me putting my business hat on, I have to think the TNA company's like, hey, this Ringside, they don't mess around. They get these figures out right away, where we've been well over a year now from the Powertown debacle. And before that, was it Chella, I think, debacle, whatever it was with that TNA line. So I think TNA are probably going to settle in with Ringside, at least for the time being. And I think this really solidifies that Powertown is never coming to existence with those TNA figures. Hopefully they prove me wrong. Hopefully they prove me right, more like it. No, wrong? Hopefully they prove me wrong. Well, they will prove me right, but I hope they prove me wrong. How about that? How about that? But let's dive into Joe Hendry. We got 2 figures, the exact same figure. The difference is the paint scheme. So the blue over here, the blue knee pads, the blue trim, that is the variant Chase edition. This is the regular edition over here. And we're going to take a look at the packaging. I guess we'll look at the regular edition first. And we got Joe Hendry there, big bubble window, perfect for autographs. Now, we do got technically 2 Joe Hendry figures, and the age-old discussion is, how do you make them different? Well, very easy with this one. You got an extra set of hands, you got an extra head, you got a shirt. Guess what? One set of hands on one, other set of hands on the other one. One wears a shirt, one does not wear a shirt. You got 2 heads. You put the 2 heads on it, you got 2 different Joe Hendry figures. I am here for that all day long, and dare I say, twice on Sunday. So kudos to the Ringside team right there. Now, I got to give a little bit, we're giving a lot of flowers here, but a few negatives with this one. Obviously, Joe Hendry in his song, and we'll get to that song, he waves his hand side to side. We know he does that. He's been doing it for years. Unfortunately, we do not have open hands with Joe Hendry, so that is a bit of a miss. Now, we did get those prior with the Legion of Doom, so technically you could mix and match the hands, so you could get those if you want to. Another accessory that isn't critical, but would have been nice to have going back for as long as I've known about Joe Hendry back to the Ring of Honor days. He always has a guitar with him a lot of times. So it would have been cool to have a guitar, maybe a future release. Obviously, once again, we probably have a few guitars in our collection. Maybe Elias, maybe Mr. Perfect, Hulk Hogan, Honky Tonk Man, all points in between. Maybe you could grab a guitar from one of those if you really wanted to. But that's really the biggest nitpicks I have, is that we don't have open hands and we didn't have a guitar. I think the open hands is more criminal than the guitar, though, in my personal opinion. But let's dive into this here. You got Joe Hendry looking only like Joe Hendry could look. You do got Joe Hendry down here. I believe in Joe Hendry. Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned TNA. Very cool. It's all about branding at the end of the day. Ringside exclusive up there. Ages 15 and up. You 14-year-olds, you can't handle Joe Hendry. I'm sorry, you can't do it. You got Joe Hendry on the side. You got the I Believe in Joe Hendry. Whenever I see this logo that's on his shirt, why does it always remind me of the Maury Povich show? I don't know why that is. And he always does that, thing where he turns around and gives you one of those. A little Cold Steel maybe, I don't know. But interesting, no doubt. On the side, Joe Hendry. And on the side here, you do got the button. It does say press me. What is that for? It is for his stand, which you know me, I'm always here for a stand, but it is also a music box akin to the Entrance Greats line once upon a time. Many years ago on this very YouTube channel, I did do a deep dive where we went through in one video every single Entrance Great WWE Mattel figure. I have a loose set and a mid-on box set. We went through all of those. Check out that if you want to flash in from the past, I guess. But this is almost like a modern day Entrance Greats is what this is. So kudos to Ringside for giving us that. Very, very cool idea. And we'll get back to that song here in a little bit. But looking very good in the packaging. Now, packaging part 2. We got Joe Hendry right here looking very nice in the Chase edition. Got the hands, you got everything. It's just different colors. Same thing, same readout, same on the back. And we're going to read the back on this one. It is the same readout between the two. It says, I believe in Joe Hendry. Say his name and he appears. I'm going to read this like I'm reading poetry, Todd McFarlane. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. Because they love him in London and Paris and Tokyo, America, Scotland, and Canada, and Mexico. They say, I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. Wave your hands from side to side and say, oh, I believe in Joe Hendry. And Joe Hendry is so prestigious. It's an interesting one. Wave your hands from side to side and say, oh, I believe in Joe Hendry. And Joe Hendry is the prestigious one. I didn't know there was prestigious in those lyrics, but here we are, prestigious, and he is 6'2", 231 pounds is Joe Hendry. Always weird to me when Joe Hendry does the choke slam. I don't know. I'm old school that he's too little of a guy to do a choke slam, but you never know. Say his name. I love the background on this one. Kind of hard to see there, but very cool background going on. See you later, goodbye. Spider-Man style. See you later, goodbye. Plastic Joe Hendry prison right here for the Chase edition. See you later, goodbye. Gonna get that there, and then we're gonna pull the regular edition out as well, because we believe in Joe Hendry. That's why we're gonna do that. See you later, goodbye. See you later, shuffle, goodbye. Plastic Joe Hendry prison once again. We're gonna get down to it, and we got twist ties here. You know me, I love a good twist tie, so I can co-sign on this. I'm building a house out of twist ties, actually, is what I'm doing, and this is gonna really help build the foundation, as we know. So we got twist ties, that's it, just around the legs it looks like. Pop these hands out, uh-oh. Oh, we got tape. This tape seems to be Cambodian tape, which Todd McFarlane, is there copyrights on that? Oh, you're friends with the guys over there at Ringside. They can borrow anything with kindness, including Cambodian tape, your patented Cambodian tape, and your twist ties. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. It's two greats working together. McFarlane Toys and Ringside Collectibles. Love to see it. Love to see it. There we go. And there we go. See you later. Goodbye. Now, I'm going to dive into the regular one here. Obviously, everything is in the Chase edition. It's just the color of the knee pads that are different and the trim. Outside of that, it's the same figure. We'll have it all in the glamour shots, but we're going to focus on the regular one right here. And we're going to get down to it real quick with some of these accessories. Let's start with the hands. We got a gripping hand and we got a Fist of Fury hand. Get the exact opposites over here. Choose your own hand adventure. As I said, would have been nice to have some waving hands. We'll see if we can figure that out later on in this video. We do get a soft goods shirt, and this is really nice material on this shirt. Very nice material. It's not your usual Mattel material. It's like a step above that. So, hey, kudos to that. I like that. It does say, I believe in Joe Hendry, JH. Looking very nice. So we got a shirt. As I said, shirt on, shirt off. That's the way to do this dynamic here. But then we do get the Joe Hendry box right here. And everybody loves a box. Joe's box smells real well. We always like to smell these boxes. But it does look like old school entrance grates as far as looks does go on this one. It reminds me of the later ones were more boxy, square box. This is more of a single box. Ringside Collectibles on the top, WrestlingFigures.com. Looks like a stand. You got the speaker box there. It does take a battery down low. Got the screws. Looks like Phillips screwdrivers for those keeping track at home. I believe in Joe Hendry on the side over here. Now, I'm going to play this song. I don't know if you can stop the song, and we're going to have to hear the whole song, which hopefully you're invested in Joe Hendry, but let's do it. Let's do it right now. There it is. So he goes. Huh? Playing all the hits? Not bad. That is Joe Hendry. It's the musical break, Todd McFarlane. Let's wave them. Now, is there a way to turn this off? Oh, it starts it over. Starts it over. Oh, well, we're going to believe. We're going to let it play through once. And I'm going to unbox this Chase one over here, I guess. Give me something to do. There it is. Sing it, Joe. Yeah. You know, Joe played this. My goodness. But I wish there was a shut-off. Nothing worse than bumping it and having it play. Is what it is. A little loud. There's a little bit of that roar to it, a little bit. We get that with talk boxes and stuff over the years. Ugh. There you go. It's a banger, as we know. Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry. Didn't he climb the charts in like the UK or something, like a Christmas? Like he was almost the Christmas #1. That's a big thing over there in the UK. Shout out to the UK folks. Something like that. See you later. Goodbye. There it is. All right, that's a little loud. I wish there was a shut off there. Might want to take the batteries out of that. Now, obviously, he fits on that stand, but does he fit on a traditional ringside stand? And he does, but he fits on the Jazzware stands. And that's what I always say. These figures remind me more of Jazzwares than anything else, which isn't bad. I don't absolutely hate the Jazzwares. These are basically what I wish Jazzwares was. Pinless joints, anyone? There you go. But let's dive into Joe Hendry here. Let's dive into the regular edition. Enough singing and songing and doing all that kind of stuff. We got the Smiling Joe Hendry out of the package. I'm not 100% that I could tell you this is Joe Hendry if somebody just handed me this head. But once you put the body together, it does give me a little bit of Joe Hendry action. Got the smiling face here, 2 eyes, 2 ears, a nose, and a mouth. Got some beautiful teeth, some beautiful dental work here. Does he have white hair or gray hair? I'm not exactly sure. And he does have a little bit of a Mark Sterling vibe, a little bit from the Major Wrestling Figure podcast, you could say. But looks good. Smiling Joe Hendry. Second head, a little bit more determined in the Joe Hendry department. Kudos to Ringside right here. I like what they did. I was just wondering this, and I just looked over. They put the opposite head on the Chase. That's the way these companies need to do these things. That's what Mattel should do. That's what they all should do. So kudos to Ringside. It makes this feel a lot different because you got the different heads, you got the different knee pads. It really feels like a different figure. I like that a whole lot. So the second head on this one here is the regular head where he's got his mouth closed, a little bit more stoic, not as sing-songy Joe Hendry here. But you got two heads, and two heads are better than one, as we do know. Now, we do got a lot of chest hair on Joe Hendry, and I think you guys know my position on this. I think Ringside could have really stepped it up to another level, just a whole nother galaxy, if they would have given us real chest hair. But maybe one day we'll see what happens. Real chest hair technology is kind of forgotten science, is what it feels like. But we do got that going on. Very long and lean, very muscular in the body here at the top. You do got the blue wristbands here, blue wristbands on the other one as well. Joe Hendry logo right there. This has the black trim, the blue and black attack looking good. White knee pads, white boots looking good as well. Arms all the way around for us, bicep cut. Double jointed, pinless elbows, playing all the hits. Everybody take notice. Hands removable back forth side to side. Head removable back forth side to side. Hula hoop up top plus traditional waist. Got those big old splits if you need it. A little interesting in the leg department as we see with these guys here. Leg goes up, decent, not the greatest, but decent enough. I think that's as enough as you need, really. Thigh cut is not there. No thigh cut? Oh, it is there. There we go. It was just kind of stuck together. So we do get the thigh cut on this one. We do get double jointed pinless knees behind those white knee pads. Boot cut, ankles up and down. No real side to side on the ankles for this guy here, but a little loose in the thighs here. A little loose in the hips, Joe Hendry? Maybe, but he does fit okay. And let's see how he fits on the ring entrance. There we go. Look at that. He does fit on there. Don't want to push that button. We don't need that going off again. But a nice Joe Hendry here, a nice surprise, and it makes you wonder what's next for this TNA sub-series. I am here for that. I'm very excited for the possibilities here. And let's be honest, TNA really hasn't had good representation since the Jakks days, and that was a little rough, as we do know if you collected back then. I think it's a new era for TNA with them going to AMC and now apparently partnering with Ringside. There is a lot of fun opportunities with this one. Some characters we always liked, the Hardy Boys of the world, Brian Myers, Matt Cardona, those seem to be layups, but there's a lot of new, younger talent over there at TNA that maybe could have their first ever action figure in general, and I think that is pretty exciting for long-term collectors like myself. And it's always fun to get another wrestling figure brand out there, and TNA is probably the one to get if you were going to get one right now. So a lot of fun with Joe Hendry ×2. I'm here for that. But how about a little comparison action here? We got Hawk, we got Animal, of course, unsanctioned Series 1. We got unsanctioned Series 2, Axe and Smash. I grabbed one of those. I bought 4 of these, as you guys know, of the Demolition. But I'm wondering if we can move some hands around, and you could use your extra hands from Hawk and Animal. You could use these open hands on Joe Hendry if you wanted to. Oh, does it not fit? It is different. I'm a little surprised by that. So it is a lot longer peg on this Legion of Doom one here. So that is not going to work for us, unfortunately. So that is a bit of a miss. Joe Hendry is so side to side. We needed that. Unfortunately, we don't have it. It works a little bit. It just makes it look a little bit long. I guess depends what you're looking for right there. But we do have that opportunity if that is something you're interested in. And I did mention the lack of guitar here. You're going to have to dive in and find an extra guitar somewhere to pair with one of these Joe Hendrys so he can join the wrestling band with, of course, Elias once upon a time. The Honky Tonk Man, one of the all-time greats, as we know. Rap is Crap, Kurt Hennig. And then, of course, you got the Hulkster rocking out the Real American in the Legends line once upon a time. So we got some options for guitars. You could also grab maybe Cold Slither, maybe go over to Super 7. There is some guitars floating around if you're a collector, so there is some opportunities to pair a guitar up at Joe Hendry if you want to. Electric, acoustic, you decide is what we're going to say. But there it is, unsanctioned TNA, Joe Hendry ×2. Pretty excited about this. Pretty excited about the future of this line. A lot of fun coming in 2026. I can feel it already in the air. But what's your thoughts on this Joe Hendry? You picking it up? Long game, no game, hard pass game? Waiting for a Mattel version game? Let me know in the comments down below. You made it this far. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bell. We got videos every single day and then some. We got even more content for you on Patreon, YouTube channel memberships. If you want early access to the videos, podcast, you name it, it's over there. Check it out, support the channel. Sir Paul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and TheKylePetersonShow at gmail.com, which is also the name of my podcast, The Kyle Peterson Show, available every Tuesday where podcasts are found, with video cast on YouTube. And check out my books, The Complete Guide to the Classic Superstar series and the ECW Original San Francisco Toymaker series, available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, as we speak. So for Joe Hendry, I believe.
Well, are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?
I'm solid gold.